It's time for an inside look.
Let's go to the park!
Because after a 2-year hiatus, Inside Look is back at SeaWorld San Diego. Oh, and also, this is episode number 50 for Let's Go to the Park. Another reason to celebrate. That's a milestone for us. And to kick off this first installment of Inside Look in 2022, there's a special past member presentation. Let's head on over.
How you guys doing?
Hey, sweetie.
Nicely done.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And what it is we do at our center is we actually give a home to rescued wildlife. Either animals that have been injured somehow and can't be set free back out into the wild, those are sent to our center. Or other times we have a big problem, especially here in the United States, we have a problem with people trying to make pets out of wild animals. That never ever works. It's also against the law, and those animals are taken away and sent to our center as well. Now what we do is give these animals lots of love, lots of attention, and lots of food. Now, Beals here is a perfect example of one of our animal ambassadors. See, Beals was actually found by a little boy who saw a nest fall out of a tree. And he happened to find 5 little baby ravens in that nest. And with his big heart, he decided he was going to do everything in his power to save those birds. He took them home, and he spent all of his time trying to get these birds nice and healthy, but unfortunately 4 out of the 5 birds passed away. After the 4 birds passed away, he decided he needed some help. And he took Beals here to a rescue vet that saved his life, but unfortunately, because Beals was raised by people, he's imprinted. He's not like a normal wild raven, which is why he was sent to us at our center. Now, we haven't always had positive relationships with animals. In fact, this next guest is an animal that we had an extremely negative relationship with. We almost caused their extinction.
This is an American alligator. His name is Bob. Let me tell you, Bob, can you give everybody over here a big wave? Hello, big wave, Bob. Bob was found in the Sacramento Delta. He doesn't belong here in California, but some fishermen reeled him in his boat. And when he did, he was so scared, he jumped out of his own boat. Then he sat in the water and thought to himself, oh my gosh, I just caught a baby alligator. Uh-oh, where's the mama? So we went back in the boat, took his chance in the boat. Then he called Fish and Wildlife, who called us, and when we got there, he still had the bobber in his mouth. Everybody was too afraid to take it out. So we took it out and named it Bob. They were on the endangered species list for years. We nearly caused their extinction. One reason? We feared them. We were scared to death of these animals. We didn't understand them. And you guys recognize this, right? Beautiful skin. What do? We want to wear it. We want to make boots and bags and belts out of this guy. And then we realized how important they are to the place they live. The place they live cannot survive without them. They live in the swamps. You might not think that's a very special place, but it's our major filter system. And without the alligator, the apex predator, the swamps were dying. But we realized just how important this animal was to us. And then we got smart and we saved them. And now, they're off the endangered species list. You know what? We did such a darn good job. There's 5 million alligators back in the wild now. Yeah. Some of the animals out there our next guest definitely does.
This is Steve, and little Steve here, he is the Morelet crocodile. Now the Morelet crocodiles are still a highly endangered species in the wild, which is actually why we have Steve here. See, Steve is part of a breeding program that is set up to raise and release the Morelet crocodiles back onto their natural habitat, trying to replenish the population. But they don't want to keep their entire population of crocodiles in one area in case a disease spreads through or a natural disaster happens. They don't want to lose their entire breeding program. So instead, little Steve here, he's kind of on loan to us. We sent a bunch of these guys out to different zoological facilities, so we're keeping him nice and healthy, but if he's ever needed for that breeding program again, he gets sent right back. Pretty cool. Now the Morelet crocodile, just like the alligator, was hunted to the brink of extinction for that same side skin. And although Steve might look small and cute right now, every time I go and get him out of his pond, he comes out and he attacks my shoe. At this size, I'm like, what are you doing? But one day he could grow to be over 15 feet long, over 1,000 pounds, one of the largest reptiles on the planet. And when he's that big, I'm going to pay very close attention as he comes up out of that water. And although you might not want to connect with this guy, I guarantee our next guest is an animal you will have an immediate connection with.
Oh, yes, you will. I got something really cute in here. Saving animals, saving ourselves. And this adorable little guy, I tell you what, it wouldn't be hard to save this. Look at that. Hey, you guys, I want you to meet my little friend here. His name is Tarzan. And he is the largest of all the kangaroos, the red kangaroo. Well, he's not very large yet because he's only 8 months old. His dad, though, is back at our rescue zoo. He's the one that's 6 feet tall that you've seen, right? Big kangaroos, and someday he'll be that big. So I know that he's 8 months old because I actually got to watch him be born. It was fantastic. You know, they're born the size of a jelly bean, this big, and both at 28 days. And when they're born, they have no legs, no tail, no eyes. They only have little stumps for arms that they use to climb all the way up and make that journey into mom's pouch. Then, once the baby goes inside the pouch, it latches on to one of the 3 nipples inside. The nipple swells up in the baby's mouth. So then the burger gets stuck on the nipple, right? So no matter how mom's bouncing around, that baby's not coming out of that pouch, no matter what. But at some point, right around 5 or 6 months, guess what happens? This little baby makes its first appearance out of the pouch. Got it, mister. Isn't he cute? When we're all done, are we gonna hop back in?
This is Yukon, who a lot of you guys met earlier, and he is a reindeer, the domesticated version of the caribou. Nice done, buddy. See, the reindeer are actually the oldest domesticated animal on the planet. It is said that they have been domesticated for over 7,000 years, and it started in Northern Europe. And the reason that they chose the reindeer to domesticate is because of these hoofs. He has the widest hoof compared to body size out of all the other deer species. That allows them to walk on snow with ease. They're basically like big snowshoes on its feet. It also allows them to swim extremely well. Those fuzzy nubs he's got on his head right now are his new antler growth coming back in. See, deer species actually shed their antlers every single year. Those big bone antlers fall off their head, then they start to grow back into new antlers covered in this fuzzy velvet coating. As they reach full size, they'll start to rub all that fuzzy velvet off. That's where you're left with the beautiful bone antlers that you're used to seeing. And they use those to fight for all the girls. Sounds pretty familiar. But it basically allows them to be a giant disposable tool for them to use. Now, do you guys see his stomach kind of pulsing in and out right now? That's actually really important. See, he has a 4-chambered stomach like cows. They're ruminators. So he sloshes that food around in his belly, and a little bit here, you'll see him regurgitate it back up into his mouth. He chews it up again and re-swallows it. It's like a really gross version of bubblegum. That's him chewing his cud. Pretty amazing. No, but reindeer are really amazing. See, reindeer and caribou are the only deer species that both males and females get the antlers. The males get theirs to fight for the girls. The females get theirs to protect their young, so they get them a little bit later in the season. But they both are a truly amazing defense mechanism.
Yeah. Here, you want a pet? Just kidding. This guy here. This is porcupine. His name is Morocco. Now, in Africa, they use the porcupines, they hunt them for these beautiful quills. They use them for decoration, for like art, and also for jewelry. They also hunt the porcupine for their source of protein. So I'm so happy porcupines know how to defend themselves. Porcupines can't shoot these quails because all quails are is hair. They're absolutely not capable of it. We can't shoot our hair, they can't shoot these. What Morocco does, if he wants to defend himself though, is he flares his quills up and then he basically jabs them into his predators. And that's how they defend themselves. But amazing animals.
This girl right here is Julia Squeezer. Julia Squeezer here is the Burmese python. Research your pets before you get them. Always make sure you give an animal a proper home for its entire life. That way we don't end up with stories like Julia's here. Now the Burmese python is perfectly set up for life in the Indian rainforest. They sit there on the ground, blending in perfectly to the leaf litter with this beautiful skin of theirs, and they'll sit there flicking that tongue. Now what is she doing with that tongue? No, not her. She's going. You're absolutely right. She's smelling. She's sticking that tongue. She's waiting for prey animals to come out in front of her. And when a prey animal does come out in front, she'll strike out. Boom! She grabs all with over 50 very, very sharp, backwards facing teeth. But she's not venomous. You guys know you can tell she's not venomous? It's because I'm holding her. This girl here, she's a constrictor. She kills by squeezing things. So she'll grab this section of her body around that prey, and she'll squeeze. And she'll squeeze until that prey is dead. Then she'll start to swallow. And she can swallow something about 5 times the size of her head. That'd be like us trying to swallow a basketball. That doesn't go over very well. But her jaws stretch open as she swallows that prey down. Never mind. I was gonna say it's an improvement. But Julia here. Like, she was actually hunted to the brink of extinction because of all that side skin. This beautiful skin of hers, they learned to make boots, belts, balls, and purses out of it, and we almost lost another one of our largest reptiles. But once again, people start protecting them, now they are slowly making a comeback in their natural habitat. I think the skin looks a heck of a lot better on her, though, don't you guys think? Yes. Yeah, I agree.
This is an owl that you might find right here in California. It's called a barred owl, and his name is Wizzer. We've had him at our rescue zoo for 15 years now. A lady was driving at night. Well, this lady didn't see, but Wizzer flew right in front of her car. She hit it. Now, she was smart enough to know she should pull over and check out and make sure that he is still alive. And sure enough, Wizzer was alive, but his wing was all messed up. That's okay, you guys. He gets to live his rest of his life with us, and he is a huge kettle of. He's such a great animal ambassador. Our relationship with birds, with owls, has just a recent relationship where we understand that we can be a partner with owls. Have anybody out here have an owl box in their backyard? We make them a home, a place to nest, a place to have their babies. And then what do they do in return? They keep the rodent population down But we're not using poisons, and we're not using traps. We're using a natural way of pest control, and that's the relationship we have with them. You guys can either buy an owl box, or you can go online and see how to make an owl box.
Now, did you guys enjoy those animals? I hope you guys did. We hope you learned something, but more importantly, we need your help. Well, we don't need your help. The animals do. And I'm going to ask you guys for 4 super easy things. Number 1, I need you guys to recycle. Do it, and it's super easy. Number 2, we need you guys to pick up garbage. Keep our environments clean. Number 3, we need you guys to protect our waterways. Make sure we have clean water. Number 4 is our own kind of personal message to everybody here. Is if there's anything that you guys care about, whether it's people, plants, animals, or the planet itself, just get out there and do something about it. If everybody plays their part just a little bit, we can make the world an even more amazing place to live.
Now that was really cool. Free coffee and a chance to meet some amazing animals. Now we've met some of those animals before, like Bob the alligator and Morocco or Momo the porcupine. Still, it's cool to see some familiar faces. So I spoke to an ambassador, and they said that because of the thing, SeaWorld had to make some changes to their Inside Look program. And one of those changes is there's no Explorer's Guide. And no Explorer's Guide means there's no free pin at the end of the day. But there's still a freebie that we're going to go pick up right now. And we're going to head over to the Arctic Trading Post to pick that up. And there it is, an official SeaWorld San Diego 2022 Pass Member Magnet featuring an emperor penguin. You know, in honor of the new roller coaster that's opening up in March. Super excited for that. Yeah, so barring some sort of catastrophic event, we're getting an early ride time on this beauty. So stay tuned. So when you run a park like SeaWorld, you gotta use a lot of water for all the animals. A lot of water. But it can't be just any old water. It's gotta be clean. And SeaWorld does a great job at cleaning and filtering the water that it brings in for the animals. In fact, when they pump the water back out into Mission Bay, where they got it from, it's cleaner than when they pumped it in. So right now, we're gonna get an inside look at how SeaWorld San Diego maintains its water quality. At SeaWorld, every area that houses animals will have its own dedicated filtration plant. These habitats range in size from 20 gallons to 36,000 gallons of water. SeaWorld can filter as much as 36,000 gallons of water per minute. To put that into perspective, Orca Encounter is a 6 million gallon habitat. The entire facility can be filtered in just about 2.5 hours. Each day, SeaWorld's filtration plant brings in 3.2 million gallons of natural seawater. The water is treated and filtered throughout the park, and then SeaWorld sends nearly 3.15 million gallons of water back to Mission Bay, even cleaner than it was before they received it. There are 2 water treatment facilities on site at SeaWorld San Diego that maintain the entire system. Wild Arctic consists of 7 horizontal sand and gravel filters for the beluga and walrus facility. Those 2 exhibits are connected using the same body of water as one exhibit, even though displayed separate from one another. Next, you will see 6 vertical filters that are also sand and gravel, with one exception. The first 2 are filled with activated carbon due to having fish in the exhibit at times. SeaWorld utilizes activated carbon to strip ozone, which acts as a disinfectant for that facility. Did you know there are over 13 million gallons of water on display here at SeaWorld San Diego? It's the only SeaWorld park that uses actual seawater. SeaWorld Orlando and SeaWorld San Antonio create saltwater for their animal environments. SeaWorld maintains the temperature for each exhibit individually, utilizing a hot water loop and a chilled water loop that are underground and wrap around the entire park where needed. Each facility that needs a warmer environment will draw water off the main heated loop. The opposite happens in the colder environment exhibits. Mission Bay fluctuates seasonally, ranging from 56 to 58 degrees Fahrenheit in the winter to as high as 76 to 77 degrees Fahrenheit in the summer. SeaWorld monitors this temperature on a daily basis to make adjustments throughout the year to maintain the specific needs of each species.
Wild Arctic Radio, 3 degrees below zero, and we're having a heat wave.
Now that is some impressive water filtration. Kind of makes your little reverse osmosis filtration system you have at home seem kind of inadequate. But then again, you don't have orcas at your house that we know of. Oh, and you may have noticed that my sunglasses just changed. That's because when I was in the Wild Arctic exhibit, they fell out of my pocket at some point. I retraced my steps, but they were nowhere to be found, so I bought a new pair here at SeaWorld. One great thing about SeaWorld sunglasses, very affordable. All right, it's time to take an inside look at some orcas.
Welcome to SeaWorld's Orca Encounter. My name is Hannah and I'm honored to introduce you to these intriguing and majestic animals. There's nothing like seeing killer whales up close and learning about them and their natural behaviors.
While they are found in every ocean, there are at least 10 types or ecotypes of killer whales. An ecotype describes the differences between killer whale size, physical form, prey, social structure, and habitat. And even the whale's black and white coloration has a purpose. It camouflages the outline of their bodies in the water, making it easier for them to surprise and catch their prey. When viewed from above, the black of the whale blends in with the dark depths of the ocean. When viewed from below, the orca's white bellies match the brighter surface of the water, blending with the light above, giving them the perfect camouflage.
Their blowhole is perfectly designed for catching a quick breath of air at the surface of the water. Even the location of his eyes works to his advantage. It looks like they're in that white oval eye patch, but that is a visual distraction. They're actually located in the black area just in front, camouflage from thrashing prey. The fin on the whale's back is called a dorsal fin. It helps stabilize orcas while they swim. It also helps regulate their body temperature. Since there is no bone or muscle structure in this fin at all, sometimes you may see it curved. The flippers on either side of their body are called pectoral flippers, and they're mainly used for steering and stopping. Pectoral flippers have 5 bony digits inside of them, just like the human hands. The lobes on either side of their tail are called tail flukes. The tail flukes are the killer whale's engine, propelling them to speeds of almost 30 miles per hour. That's as fast as some of our speedboats. But they swim the fastest and use the most power when propelling their nearly 10,000-pound bodies all the way up and out of the water.
Killer whales are highly social animals with a well-defined social structure. In orca calls, vocal development studies here at SeaWorld show that early on, calves learn vocalization from their mothers. But as they grow, they learn from others close to them as well.
Like all animals, killer whales use body language as a form of their communication. They can use pectoral slaps at the surface of the water to show dominance or to get noticed. For example, a mother might use a peck slap to get her calf's attention. But when they really want to be heard, they breach. Fluke slaps are another form of communication that killer whales can use in the wild and right here at SeaWorld.
Killer whales work together to rear their young, protect their calf, and most importantly, pursue and catch their prey. Every day they cooperate to survive. The orca's hunting.
Killer whales in the southern hemisphere can actually capture sea lions by pulling them right off the beach. We often see Ulysses demonstrate the same behavior right here at the front of the pool. Antarctic orcas will often create waves that wash over floating ice, knocking unsuspecting seals right into the water. Luckily, I have a very special volunteer who's going to get to feel the power of the killer whale and that 55-degree salt water. Are you ready? Come on down and take a seat right here on our little iceberg and hold on tight. You keep sitting there. I'm going to stand over here. The whales are on their way. Here it comes. Hold on tight. Very nice. Let's give her a big round of applause. Now, because killer whales live in all parts of the ocean, it's no surprise to eat all types of prey, including other whales. The blue whale on the screen behind me is the largest animal on Earth. In fact, it is 5 times longer and 50 times heavier than a killer whale. So, how does a killer whale of this size eat a blue whale that size out in the ocean? Well, it's all possible because killer whales are the ultimate team players.
In this example, we see the larger male orcas surround a sperm whale, forming a perimeter, while the females continue to drive the whale forward until it reaches exhaustion. The calves then move in to join the adults in the group. Whatever their prey, killer whales always cooperate and hunt together, making them a highly successful predator.
Porpoising is when killer whales swim fast at the surface, breaking out of the water just briefly. You can see them doing this when catching a ride in the wake of a boat or when surfing in a wave. Killer whales in the wild also imitate each other. We see it here at SeaWorld all the time. The whales are constantly mimicking and learning from one another. Now, playful behavior does have a purpose. For example, killer whales in the wild might use a tail whip in hunting to stun fish, but today, I think they're gonna come stun all of you. Here at SeaWorld. It's how we build trusted relationships, provide optimal health care, research, and quality of life. Our whales here take an active role in their own health and well-being. For example, they can roll over and present us their tail flukes. This is helpful in getting a voluntary blood sample from the vein that runs along the inside of their tail. They can even slide out onto a scale. We monitor all our whales' weights to make sure they're growing properly. We can even get a breast sample from their blowhole, all because of the relationships we build here at SeaWorld day after day. Now, I want to introduce you to a very special whale of our pod. Right up there on center stage is 28-year-old Keat. Now, he weighs an impressive almost 9,000 pounds, but he is truly a gentle giant. He loves taking naps, eating snowballs, and getting back rubs. He has actually participated in many research studies that helped his wild counterparts.
The whales here at SeaWorld have helped killer whales in the wild by participating in many research studies. One ongoing study monitors the whale's heart rate and breathing to understand how marine noise pollution from ship engines and other sources affect wild populations. Other research has been done here at SeaWorld on the mother whale's milk composition. This research will help create an effective model to understand how toxins in the ocean impact wild killer whales and their milk supply. What we learn from the whales in our care every day is actively helping whales in the wild survive. And just by being here today, you've supported our rescue, research, and conservation efforts all around the world. If we work together, like the killer whale, we can protect the future of the Orcinus orca and this beautiful planet that we all share.
Thank you so much for joining us here at Orca Encounter. We hope you gain a better appreciation for these incredible animals. Have a great rest of your day here at SeaWorld.
All right, I'm getting kind of hungry, so it's time for some lunch. Okay, and once again, today I'm going with the bacon cheeseburger from the Shipwreck Cafe. I was gonna get the seared chicken sandwich, but it didn't look as big as the burger, and I'm pretty hungry today, so this is what I went with. Oh, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. Heron Knight and Poseur. Welcome to the show. I got no food for you, peebs. I have no food for you either, Mr. Knight. I'm sorry. That's just the way it goes. And done. Delicious, as always. You'll never know what you're missing, peeps. Well, that's just the life of a seagull. I guess you'll just have to deal with it. All right, now that the belly's full, let's go and see what other inside looks SeaWorld has in store. All right, it looks like they're showing some episodes of SeaRescue inside the Mission Bay Theater. Gonna go check it out.
If the sea lion makes a bid for the ocean, there's no guarantee it's not going to take a rescuer in the water with it.
Can they say strut the stranded sea lion? And then a dolphin washes up on the beach near the U.S. border with Mexico. Without immediate medical attention, he could die.
This animal was in grave condition.
We're gonna take off real quick, okay?
Can rescuers save TJ the dolphin, nurse him back to health? I'm back up, and we're on a SeaRescue.
Okay, that was really cool. The episode that they showed featured Jodie Westberg, whom you might remember from a previous Inside Look episode of Let's Go to the Park. The episode also featured 2 rescue stories, one involving a common dolphin with an abscess and hypoglycemia, and the other, a sea lion who had eaten some fish that had also ingested a naturally occurring toxin, making the sea lion sick. Both stories had happy endings. All right, since we've been taking an inside look all day, how about we cap the day off with a topside look? Because the Sky Tower is operating once again. And it's been a while since we've ridden it, so I think it's about time. May I have some extra? And with that, it's about time for me to head on out. We didn't get to all the inside look presentations because I had a little difficulty finding out all the locations and times, but it's a new format for 2022, so things are being figured out. Regardless, thank you so much for joining me for episode 50 and another inside look. Till next time, see you later. Hey, check it out. Work is being done on Tidal Twister. And trains are even back on the tracks. That gives me a little hope that the ride might reopen sometime soon. Because, you know, it's been down for quite a while. So cheers to Tidal Twister making its triumphant re-entry into the park in 2022, along with the grand opening of Emperor. Let's go. Hey, quiet.